there's no place like home for the holidays. And no matter how far away you roam, if you pine for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for the holidays you can.
Welcome back to Horror for the Holidays, a Christmas horror movie podcast. I'm Jay Logsden.
And I'm Jeff Searcy.
Jeff, do we just kind of want to get into it?
Yeah, we might as well.
I don't know. We're gonna forego any pleasantries. We're gonna forego any.
There's nothing pleasant about what's about to happen here, mate.
Yeah, we're gonna forego any of our normal usual bullshit at the beginning of these episodes. We're just gonna get straight into it, as you saw based off the title, and if you follow us on the soon-to-be defunct Twitter account, we watched Once Upon a Time at Christmas today. So let's 2017 movie. So let's get into it. Let's deck the halls. Right off the bat, Jeff, 6 production company logos at the beginning of this movie.
You know, that was so amazing. You can always tell the hallmark of quality on a good movie. It's when they have between 6 and 10 production logos at the beginning.
I was reminded of that Family Guy sketch where Peter's like, "Oh, this guy looks like he's in trouble," and then it's another production company logo.
Train coming out of a tunnel productions.
And they just keep going on. An estimated $1 million budget according to IMDb. Not bad for $1 million.
Yeah, say pretty good for $1 million movie.
Co-writer and star Simon Phillips plays Nick Conway. Paul Tanter is the writer and director, and then those two plus Selah DeGode, who plays Mrs. Claus, are in the sequels 2019's The Nights Before Christmas and the in pre-production One Christmas Night in a Toy Store.
Ah, okay.
One Night in a Christmas Toy Store? No, I believe it's One Christmas Night in a Toy Store.
It's One Night in a Christmas Store.
I backed it on Indiegogo like 2 years ago or last year when it was promoted. I believe it's still in pre-production today. If anyone wants to throw some money that way to try to get the third movie that made, so Jeff and I can own all 3 of these movies on DVD, that'd be great. That
would be amazing.
Because this movie is truly something else. It is a miracle of filmmaking. I had seen it before, and I was excited to have Jeff watch it.
I just want to point out, it has a 3.4 on IMDb, which it does not deserve. This is at least a 5-star movie.
It is a movie that I have 12 pages of synopsis about.
Is it well made? No. Does it make any sense? No. But is it hilarious and fun as hell to watch? Yes.
And it's not funny in the way... I will get into it.
Yeah.
So let's get into our synopsis here. Deputy Sam Fullard has Mrs. Claus, Selah DeGode, locked in a jail cell. She is dressed like Christmas Margot Robbie Harley Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
They have some back and forth. First, somewhat flirtatious. Mrs. Claus says something like, "Let me out of here and we can celebrate the most wonderful time of the year," but turning more sinister when she threatens him with Daddy showing up.
And don't forget about that part where she offers him the gold medal blowjob.
And him threatening to put her in the chair. We then get our opening credits with Mew's Jingle Bells playing. Mew is somewhat of a somewhat of a legend in the Christmas horror genre. I believe there was a Mew song at the beginning of Slade, and then you can also hear her music, or their music, I don't know what gender Mew is, on Weird Christmas podcast, Blight Christmas podcast, and other podcasts. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of Christmas music played in like a minor chord.
Yeah, that's all well and good, but when are we going to get to Joe and his tiny dick?
Shortly, Jeff. Shortly.
Shortly, huh?
We get our first of the framing devices used for this movie. A placard that says December 14th. There's some like Christmas Village apparel in the background. There's a bloody knife. I noticed on the rewatch there's a bloody knife and like a crossbow in the foreground.
Oh, yeah.
A thing I didn't really notice at the first time around.
I noticed the crossbow, but not the bloody knife.
Oh, we're at a crime scene at the Woodridge Mall parking lot. Deputy Fullard is telling Sheriff Mitchell about the crime scene. A mall Santa was attacked by Santa and Mrs. Claus and decapitated, his head put in a gift bag. Also, there's a pear with a bite taken out of it left at the crime scene.
This will be an impossible mystery to solve.
December 15th, we're introduced to Jennifer, I guess our main character. She wakes up to the sound of her parents fighting. It's obvious they're going to get a divorce. Jennifer leaves to go to work at the Woodridge Mall, which is... Jeff, Woodridge is a small town, right?
Oh, they make a great... I think in that very first scene where they're investigating that first murder, the sheriff's like, oh yeah, it's a small town.
Yeah, Woodridge is a very small town. And it has a 3-story mall. We live in the capital city of Iowa, and our biggest mall is 2 stories tall.
Well, you know, this is a small town, but it has a big mall. Just don't question it. It'll be fine.
Completely decked out for Christmas. Jennifer is going to be working at Santa's Village. But the Santa's Village is closed because the Santa. I don't know if they know that he's been murdered yet, or if they just think he didn't show up. But Jennifer's friend Lisa says she doesn't know what she wants for Christmas, to which her friend Courtney responds, "How would a boyfriend with a huge cock?" We are then introduced to Courtney's boyfriend Joe, who can't figure out what she really wants for Christmas.
Yeah, we all know what she really wants for Christmas.
Poor Joe and his tiny dick.
She wants to get rid of Joe and his tiny dick.
David, Jennifer's boyfriend, then shows up and tells the girls about Drum Fest on Christmas Eve at Phil's bar, because there's nothing more that people love to do than go watch bunch of people play drums.
Oh yeah, Drum Fest.
followed up on New Year's Eve by Bass-a-Palooza at Phil's bar.
Gotta get a ticket for that.
Mayor Bob doesn't want to close the mall over one murder.
Jaws Mayor.
And yells at Sheriff Mitchell about it.
I think he's literally like, this is tourist season. We can't be closing down the town.
It's Christmas season. We can't close down the mall.
Can't close the beach, Sheriff. We have to figure this out.
It's now nighttime, and two hot young teens.
Oh, my hot teens are back.
Are seen making out at Turtle Dove Point.
Oh, boy.
One of the girls asks Troy if she still is hung up on Jennifer before they are burned alive in their car by Mr. and Mrs. Claus. December 16th, the days keep moving forward. The Frenchens, Mrs. Frenchen, her daughter, and their dog are enjoying a quiet evening at home.
What? Okay, hold on. Just let me get this straight real quick. So you're saying a man has been killed and a pear was left at the crime scene. Mm-hmm. 2 hot young teens were killed at Turtle Dove Point.
Yep.
And then 3 Frenchens were murdered?
Yep.
I don't see any pattern here.
No, there's literally no pattern. I don't know how we're going to solve this.
I don't know how the
murder.
fuck this mystery is going to be solved. I think we better call the FBI.
There's a knock at the front door. Mrs. Claus is standing there telling Mrs. Frenchen she needs a divorce attorney. Santa and Mrs. Claus break in and attack them. Oh, also, I believe Mrs. Claus said something. She wanted a divorce because Santa wouldn't give her a bear trap. So, that comes back. That's the only reason I bring up that dumb piece of dialogue.
Oh, no. That is an incredibly important piece of dialogue, setting up an essential scene later in this movie.
Jen is at work, and Courtney asks if she and Lisa want to come out tonight, but Lisa can't because she's got swim practice and is going to make the Olympic squad. But according to Courtney, she'll only make an Olympic squad if they start giving out gold medals for blowjobs.
Oh, really?
They then talk about Troy's murder.
Well, I was thinking maybe we could get a panel together to judge these blowjobs. Maybe we could start handing out gold medals.
Yeah, we'll get on that. We then cut to the police station where they are discussing the murders, and we're introduced to the true star of this film, Kathy. She's the secretary of the police station.
Kathy is the best character in this movie, I think.
She has 3 lines of dialogue in the entire movie.
But, her facial expressions just tell you everything you need to know without any dialogue. She's like, why the fuck am I working in this place? How are these people this stupid?
Like, it truly seems like she's like, I don't know if she's like an intern or if she's like someone's like relative who just...
She's got heavy like sheriff's niece vibes.
We then cut to the bar that Courtney's at with 4 of her friends. They're drinking. They go into the bathroom, and they hear crying coming from one of the bathroom stalls. One of them kind of looks under to say something to her, gets shot in the eye with a crossbow. Mrs. Claus and Santa attack. They leave Courtney alive because 4 birds, 'tis enough. 4 birds is 'tis enough for one day.
Oh, you're right. We'll just leave 4 birds. That's right. I left 1 pair, 2 kids killed at Turtle Dove Point, 3 Frenchens butchered, and now 4 birds.
It's impossible to figure
This
out what's going
fucking
on in this
mystery
movie.
is destroying my mind.
The mayor tells Sheriff Mitchell that they can't do a curfew because they can't ruin sales at the mall.
The mall needs to stay open. Bear in mind, this movie was made in 2017 when all malls are dead.
Oh, and did I mention that it's now December 18th? If I didn't, it's also now December 18th.
Are you saying that these days and dates are important somehow?
Yeah. Also, it is mentioned that the mayor will be going to see his niece at the strip club later that week.
Oh, hell yeah. My niece is all grown up. Better go see her at the strip club.
The FBI shows up and says they are missing a murder because they haven't found the Frenchens yet. They have 1 body, 2 bodies, and 4 bodies, but they need to find the 3rd body. And so they tell Fullard and Mitchell to go door to door.
Yeah, I got a real 3-body problem here.
But it's a big town, even though it's also a small town.
No, just let's highlight this real quick. These 2 lines are literally said back to back. We're going to need a media blackout on this. The sheriff says, this is a small town. People are already talking about it. There's no way we could do that. Then the next line, the FBI agent's like, all right, we're going to need your guys to go door to door and do some canvassing. The sheriff's like, this town's way too big to canvass door to door.
Later that day, Fullard finds the Frenchens bodies, all 3 of them, mother, daughter, and dog.
Not the Frenchens.
All 3 Frenchens.
All 3 of them, huh?
The lead FBI agent walks. We get this great scene because the FBI's finally showed up. Probably my favorite shot in the whole movie. The FBI agent goes to get a pot of coffee. Walks down the hall. It's one long shot as he walks down the hall, goes to get a pot of coffee, and then turns around to come back and finds all of the FBI agents murdered.
Yeah, that is a really great shot.
And then as the camera slowly pans back around the room, back towards where he is, Santa Claus is standing behind him, and he gets hit in the back of the head with the axe, and you see like brain matter splatter up on the front glass of the police station.
5 guys killed and their ring fingers all cut off?
Oh, no, we haven't gotten there yet, Jeff. We haven't gotten...
Oh, sorry.
Right now, we only know 5 FBI agents have been killed.
Ah, okay.
We get a news update before we see a farmer discovering that 6 of his geese have been killed.
Oh, no, not the geese.
Back at the police department, we learn that all 5 of the FBI agents had their ring fingers removed.
You know...
So we have 1 person killed with a pair left at the crime scene. We have 2 people killed at Turtle Dove Point. We have 3 Frenchens killed.
Not the Frenchens.
We have
4 birds, mate.
4 birds. We have 5 ring fingers removed from FBI agents, and now 6 geese have been killed.
You know what? I didn't care about any of the people, but damn it, don't kill those geese.
Deputy Fullard goes out to investigate the geese and is reiterated. He says something like, all your geese have been killed, and the farmer says to him, not all the geese, only 6.
Just 6 geese, and now they're laying in this field.
And then just to prove that these police officers are incredibly fucking stupid, Deputy Fullard goes and finds a book on the premises. I assume it's evidence, but it's never brought back up, called 6 Geese a Slaying by Donna Andrews.
Yeah.
He finds this book at the crime scene. Turns out, Jeff, this is a real book. I smell a crossover. We're going to do a Horror for the Holidays book club if we ever get a Patreon launched.
Yes.
And we're going to read 6 Geese a Slaying.
We definitely will.
Jen finds a jack-in-the-box addressed to her with all the missing fingers from all the FBI agents inside of it. Also, initially, Jen thinks it's a prank from Joe.
Joe and his fucking tiny dick.
Poor Joe and his tiny dick. This dude just can't catch a break. He's getting roasted all the time.
Yeah, this prank seems like somebody with a tiny dick would pull.
The police are telling Jen and her mom that there's a lot of connections to them and their family, from it being Troy, it being the mall Santa at the place Jen worked. 4 of Courtney's friends plus Courtney left alive. And, just kind of all the connections. And Jennifer's mom says she's going to call her attorney, Mrs. Frenchen, to which they say she can't because the whole family's dead.
All 3 Frenchens dead.
It's now December 20th. Lisa is at the pool for swim practice. She comes up from the water to see Santa standing over her.
Oi, mate.
December 21st. That's my shortest time between notes for this entire thing. Jen and Courtney discuss that Lisa's missing before deciding to do some good old-fashioned internet sleuthing.
Oh, yeah.
Jinkies. The mayor is telling the press that a curfew should have been implemented immediately, which causes the sheriff to hunt the mayor down and punch him in his fucking face.
Finally.
The mayor then says that when he gets back from his son's bachelor party at the strip club, that Sheriff Mitchell best be gone.
Oh, can we highlight something real quick? When that mayor says that he's going to see his now grown-up niece at the strip club, he says this to the sheriff, by the way, who apparently finds nothing wrong with this.
Yeah, and certainly not enough to, I don't know, maybe arrest the mayor for
maybe it'd be like,
if nothing else, ickiness. I don't know if that's legal, but
I mean, I'm sure it's legal, but I mean, can we just like rough him up or something? My God.
The mayor is telling, no, we did that part. Oh, it is also mentioned that the Farmer Peterson called and his milk machines were vandalized earlier that day.
Wait a minute. This doesn't make any sense. You're telling me we got pears left at crime scenes, hot young teens murdered at Turtle Dove Point, 3 Frenchens butchered, 4 birds killed in the bathroom, and then you're telling me, oh, yeah, we got 5 rings cut off these FBI agents, 6 dead geese, and then, what? This doesn't make any sense because the pattern should be 7, but there's no evidence of a 7th murder.
Yeah, and then just, I don't know.
There's 8
about 8 milk machines were vandalized.
I mean, I thought I was beginning to see a pattern here, but no, it's impossible.
Deputy Fuller finds, I think, 6 paper swans at the pool.
What? No way.
That Lisa was attacked at. Also, we learned that Lisa's last name is also Swan.
Oh.
So there were something about 7 swans.
7 swans, huh? No, it doesn't ring any bells.
Sheriff Mitchell finds a present on his desk with a reindeer USB thumb drive inside, showing CCTV footage from inside the strip club.
Well, at least it wasn't really weird porn. Which you usually find out.
The mayor was. It's the same strip club that the mayor was at for his son's bachelor party. He's getting some quality time with Mrs. Claus, not realizing that it's her, before he gets an axe to the chest from Santa. And Santa yells, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, mate.
Meanwhile, Courtney and Jennifer are still hard at work trying to figure out what's going on. Courtney suggests that Jennifer search her parents' names, and Jennifer finds an article with a picture of her mom titled Military Hero to Return for Christmas, but the man in the picture isn't her dad. Back at the police station, Mitchell and Fullard are just starting to piece things together. Have you, the listener, figured it out yet?
I hope they have, because I sure haven't.
So, in this part, I believe we get my favorite line, where as they're starting to piece things together, it's like, what was the name of the guy at the first? What was the name of the guy at the first thing? Partridge, and it's what was that? What about that apple that was found there? What apple? You mean the pear? Pear? I thought it was an apple. Yeah, I did too, but it turns out it's a pear.
This entire fucking plot hinges on the fact that the sheriff can't recognize fruit.
And then that's when they start piecing it all together. That all the murders have been, or all the crimes.
I don't know about you listeners, but I have never in my life mistaken an apple for a pear.
Certainly not. The entire plot of the movie hinges on that they can't recognize an apple from a pear.
That's why this movie is simultaneously the best and worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And
so, turns out that all the murders are the 12 days of Christmas.
What?
You've got because the first guy's name was Partridge.
We figured this out 10 minutes into the movie, by the way.
His name was Partridge, and there was a pear left at the crime scene. And then 2 people were killed at Turtle Dove Point. All 3 Frenchens were killed.
Not all 3.
There were 4 birds.
Four birds, mate.
Birds, the British term for girl.
Oh, yeah, which, Santa Claus is British for some reason, which we haven't found out yet.
5 golden rings. 6 geese.
Damn.
7 swans. 8 maids. 8 milk machines. 9 ladies dancing. The ladies at the strip club. 10 lords because it's the mayor and his compatriots.
Entourage, yeah.
So, man, we're right at the end. We better figure out what's going on here.
What the fuck is going on, mate?
Jennifer, after all of this is determined, I think the mayor yells, or the mayor's fucking dead. I think Sheriff Mitchell yells, "Let's get some Christmas music in here." And Kathy, with her third line of the movie, goes, "Did he just say Christmas music?"
God, I love Kathy.
She's so fucking great. Jen confronts her mom about Sergeant Nick Conway, who it turns out to be Jen's biological father, who was violent with Jennifer's mom and was sent to a mental institution on Christmas Eve after he tried to kill her earlier that day, and the divorce papers were served on Christmas Day. But 3 years ago, the mental institution burned down, and Nick Conway was declared dead because they found his teeth in the wreckage.
There were no survivors, mate.
And the only body there was only one other body. It was a woman left unaccounted for in the mental institution.
Could it
Now,
perhaps be a Harley Quinn Santa Claus?
For whatever reason, for like the last 3 days, I don't think there's been the framing device telling us what day it is.
No, they just give up on that.
So we suddenly jump to December 24th, and there's blood dripping down the sign now. But yeah, somehow we skipped from December 21st to December 24th.
Naturally.
Without being informed about it, because this movie's just perfect.
It's not fucking important. Don't worry about it.
Jen's mom and her husband Frank, who is a plumber by trade, because 8 pipers piping, or 11 pipers piping.
Oh, yeah.
Get attacked by Santa and Mrs. Claus while Jennifer, Courtney, and Joe and his tiny dick are at Drumfest.
Yeah, well, you see, that's why Joe couldn't get married, because he wasn't an expert at laying pipe like Frank.
We get a voiceover of Nick reading The Night Before Christmas, while scenes of Mitchell and Fullard investigating Jen's house. They find Frank's dead body and his entire body like strung up in Christmas lights.
I just want to point out real quick that they actually pick up a flyer for Drumfest, look at it, and then do nothing.
Yep.
Because, they figured out what this is about. They know that the drummer thing is at the end of the song, and yet they do nothing about the drum festival taking place in town.
Not only do they know, they walk up, they see that Frank was a plumber, and they go, and Fullard says to Sheriff Mitchell, he's like, "Sheriff, 11 pipers piping." But it should be a small enough fucking town that they should know there's a goddamn drum festival at the fucking bar.
This is a fucking small town, man. The word's already gonna get out, but I mean, it's too big to search. We can't search.
Then we also get Jen and company counting down from 10 to 1. And we get Nick and Mrs. Claus approaching the bar. When they get to 1 and yell "Merry Christmas," the power cuts out at the bar. December 25th comes on the screen, and it's covered in blood. It's covered in blood now. A really cool effect. I really like that part.
The transitions are pretty cool.
Nick leads Lisa and Jen's mom out dressed as elves wrapped in IED rigged Christmas lights.
Say goodbye to those gold medal blowjobs.
Before they start killing people, including Joe. R.I.P. to the goat of this movie.
Yeah, exactly. Poor Tiny Dick Joe.
Fullard and Mitchell realize that it's the 12th day, and that it is now the 12th day. It is now Christmas Day. Even though technically I believe the 12 days of Christmas start on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. It's now the 12th day, and that they need to get to Drumfest.
Oh, yeah, because, we couldn't have done anything preemptively about that.
Courtney and a friend try to escape. I think she calls Mrs. Claus a holly jolly whore or something like that.
Yep.
And she chases him outside. Mrs. Claus shoots the friend with a crossbow, and Courtney gets stuck in that bear trap that Mrs. Claus wanted for Christmas.
Hey, at least she got what she wanted.
Because we get all of our fucking callbacks now. Nick gives Jen a choice to blow up her mom or blow up Lisa with the IED. The police arrive outside and save Courtney by shooting Mrs. Claus.
I mean, if it's a choice between her mom and Lisa, obviously save Lisa so we can get one of those gold medal blowjobs.
Yeah, we need to get. There's no comments on Jennifer's mom's ability to perform fellatio. Nick kills David.
Not David.
After giving a weird speech about how, like, he asks David if he loves Jen.
Listen,
and he's like, of course I do. And he's like, oh, a father always wants to hear that, but not from another man. And then kills him, which is a real creepy line.
I want to love my own daughter, mate.
And Nick puts a grenade with the pin pulled in Jen's hand and tells her to make a choice. Jen saves Lisa, I think, but I don't remember. It's hard to tell because it's just two blonde women.
The scene is kind of hard to even tell what's going on.
I feel like they should have switched the actress who played Courtney and the actress who played Jennifer, Lisa, so we would know at the end of this movie. Okay, it's the redhead and the blonde. Yeah. Instead, it's two blondes, and it's hard to tell which one's which because the scene's really dark. The sheriff shoots Nick, but doesn't kill him. And Nick tells, it says something like, tells Jennifer that she's safe now, and Nick tells her that she'll never be safe from him. She drops the grenade, Jennifer drops the grenade on him, and then it turns out it's just a flashbang.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the most pathetic flashbang I've ever seen in my life.
But it allows Nick to escape.
Somehow, even though it shouldn't have distracted anybody.
We're back at the beginning of the movie. Mrs. Claus says, "You better watch out," as Nick approaches Deputy Fullard from behind, and we get a scream as the credits roll. That's the end of the movie.
I'm fucking Santa Claus, mate.
So, Jeff, how about we get into our Mindy show? Where do you want to start?
Let's start at how does one judge a gold medal blowjob?
Well, that's not one of our categories.
I don't know. I guess if we gotta pick a category, let's go with the costumes.
All right, let's do Christmas sweater costume choices that we liked. Sheriff Mitchell has a great mustache.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that small town cop look.
I wish I could grow a mustache that good. Sheriff Mitchell had an absolutely great mustache.
My mustache is garbage.
Same. I also really enjoyed not necessarily a costume, but we've kind of done kind of set decorations, different things with scenes. We've kind of looped that into the Christmas sweater category. I really like that scene where the FBI agent walks down the hallway.
Yeah. I really like the way that they set up the very first murder scene. That was pretty cool. With Mr. Partridge killed next to an apple. I mean, a pear.
I think Mrs. Claus's outfit, like we said, she's Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn
with
at
Santa
Christmas
twist,
time. Yeah. These are probably my least favorite Killer Santa outfits of, I think, any of the movies we've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of uninspired. They're just pretty generic, but I don't know.
The movie's still hella enjoyable. What but that's probably one thing that stuck with me is I was like, we've seen some great Santa outfits. We're gonna see some more when we get to Santa's sleigh. I mean, that's a 10 out of 10 Santa outfit. They
were really accurate on the federal agents too, because they were all in cheap suits from Men's Warehouse.
But yeah, no real outfits stood out to me. Nothing spectacular.
Wise, a lot of the sets were pretty memorable, but yeah, as far as costumes go, not much.
Yeah,
I liked what they did with the little, even though it was incredibly stupid because they should have killed 7 people named Swan, but the little paper swan things next to the murder, that was cool.
Yeah, that was kind of neat.
What was the Frenchen house, the kind of continuous shot it goes through as the Frenchens get butchered? That was pretty cool.
Mm. Do you want to do quotes? Christmas carols?
Yeah, let's do that.
We got some. I got some good ones. Early on, Courtney says to Joe, "You're so weird," and Joe goes, "Good weird?" To which Lisa responds, "There's no good weird." Sheriff, the line that we highlighted earlier on, Sheriff Mitchell, "Did you say pear?" Deputy Fullard, "Yeah." Sheriff Mitchell, "I thought it was an apple."
Well, I already said my favorite one, but I'll say it again just for this. We're going to need a media blackout on this thing. Oh, it's a small town. People are already talking about it. All right, fine. Then we're going to need you to get some deputies together and go search the town door to door, do some canvassing for us. This town is way too big to search door to door. Which one is it, Sheriff? Is the town too fucking big or too small? Make up your damn mind.
Truly, it is. It is simultaneously a very small town and Schrodinger's town.
This would not be so bad if these lines did not literally happen back to back.
Woodridge is truly Schrodinger's town.
Yes.
The bar that the four birds get killed in is a different bar than the bar at the end of the movie. But then in the police report or the news report at the end of the movie, they say that like the local bar. Mm-hmm. But there's more than one bar.
Bear in mind, this town has a gigantic mall.
A 3-story mall.
It has a police force with at least like 12 cars we've seen at these scenes. It's got its own news station. They say that it's like 20 miles outside of New York? It's like, how small could this place be?
It truly has to be a suburb of New York City. Especially with the next movie in mind. Like, I think at one point it's implied that like it's an hour between downtown New York City and like Woodridge at one point, I think in the second movie, which like to me implies it's probably a suburb of New York City in some way. I've never been to New York, so I don't know it that well.
It's like they're trying to have it both ways. They're trying to do the small town horror movie thing in a big town. Because it's like, this makes no sense. If this place is really 20 minutes outside of New York, it would have a police department. It wouldn't have a sheriff.
Another line where when Fullard and Mitchell are trying to put everything together. We've kind of highlighted this. 3 French hens. The Frenchens. And then Deputy Fullard goes, 3 of them.
When the farmer, it's like, my geese were killed. All of them? No, just 6. 6 geese laying here.
Sheriff Mitchell. I also kind of highlighted this line. Sheriff Mitchell, Kathy, let's get some Christmas music in here. Kathy, did he just say Christmas music?
Oh, and my favorite line from British Killer Santa, which we got another permutation of Killer Santa to add to the naughty list now. But when he's like, "No, don't get greedy, love. 4 birds is enough.
Only four birds 'tis enough for tonight."
God, I love this movie.
It is so wild. Christmas spirit. How Christmassy is the movie? How Christmassy are the kills?
The movie itself is amazingly Christmassy.
Truly, this movie. I off the air. One of us said this feels like a Hallmark movie that just so happens to have a killer Santa in it, instead of a love story. But there is Christmas stuff in every single scene. When Lisa goes to the swimming pool, the like lifeguard office at the swimming pool or whatever has a wreath and Christmas lights around the door.
Yes, they never let you forget that it's Christmas.
There's Christmas decorations in every single scene. There's shots. There's Christmas lights in every single shot. You get beautiful shots of like, it's probably was cheap footage for a lot of the stuff, but you get like a beautiful Christmas tree. You get shots of like lights on like City Hall. You get all sorts of Christmas light. The mall has Christmas stuff. Everyone's house has Christmas stuff in it. There's Christmas everywhere in this movie. If you cut this movie, it would bleed Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I mean, as far as the kills go, not very Christmassy, other than the fact that they're themed around the 12 days of Christmas.
Which maybe makes it a little Christmassy.
I mean, it makes it a little Christmassy, but the way he kills people is not like any kind of Christmas related thing, really.
I spoke, I think, on our first episode about my penchant for, a Santa with an axe always seems like a little more Christmassy. He wields an axe the entire movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say, until he wields a gun there at the end.
Right.
Or his C4 vest, or
And also, when they find Frank's body with his throat slit, he's like wrapped in Christmas lights. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a cool scene.
Yeah.
A real Christmassy.
Most of the kills not Christmassy. There's a couple thrown in there, but I mean, having it themed around the 12 days of Christmas, I think probably gives it a Christmas pass.
But yeah, I think this was overall. I mean, the holiday spirit, especially from the aspect of how Christmassy is the movie. This movie is Christmassy as shit.
And also, are they going to kill a fucking dog in every one of these movies or what? This is like the 3rd or 4th one that somebody's butchered a dog in.
Yeah. But no, like you compare this to even To All a Good Night. The first movie we did, we already kind of mentioned it. there's some Christmas lights around in some of the scenes. Like compare that to this where there's Christmas stuff this feels like it's Christmas. And there's snow on the ground, which we don't always get in these movies.
This is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation levels of Christmas.
No, this movie needs to be watched at Christmas time. I think the first time I watched it was around July 4th. But that's another story for another time.
4 birds.
Our new category, broken bulb, brilliant bulb. What was one thing you would fix in this movie?
Okay. If I had to fix something in this movie, it would be to establish the size of the town. For God's sake. Either make it a small town or make it like a suburb of New York. But don't try to do this thing where you try to flip back and forth between both. It just makes it seem ridiculous.
Right. No, that's a really good one. I hadn't thought of that. Mine was, why are the cops so fucking stupid?
Yes, well, that was going to be my second choice. It's like, yeah, have them catch on to this mystery a little sooner.
So the first time Jeff and I watched this together, I had already seen it once before. And after maybe like at the second kill, right after the second kill, I turned to Jeff, I paused the movie, and I said, have you figured it out yet? And you stopped and you looked at me and you said something like, it's that stupid movie, or it's that stupid song, isn't it? And I went, yep, sure is.
Yep.
And like, we had it figured out right the fuck away.
As soon as they did the 2 people killed at Turtle Dove Point, it's like, come on.
I would, the first time I watched it, I was watching it and I paused it and I said to my wife, literally after the guy was killed and they found the pair, I went, oh, it's the 12 Days of Christmas. We didn't even know the guy's name was Partridge yet. I just went, oh, it's the 12 Days of Christmas.
You know, if they wanted to pull this off better, what they could have done was have the 2 cops in town be oblivious. But then when the guy from the FBI shows up, have him be like, this is obviously the 12 Days of Christmas.
And then they have to figure out how, where the kills are going to come from.
How are they going to get these kills to line up with the song? That would be fun to watch them try to figure out where they're going to strike next, instead of being constantly like 3 steps behind them.
No, there's a really cool movie here, like and a really cool idea. I don't know that it was executed perfectly, but there's a really cool idea behind this movie.
I mean, it was executed in a hilarious way, but not a good way.
Right. Brilliant Bulb. What was your favorite thing about this movie?
My favorite thing about this movie are the gold medal blowjobs. Honestly, my favorite thing about the movie was the way that Mrs. Claus and Killer British Santa just butcher people with such like glee on their faces, and just the lines that they spit out while they do it. Like the thing about the don't get greedy 4 birds is enough. This is the kind of shit you only see in movies like this.
The effects are great.
Yeah.
Like especially like the death, like the kill effects. There's like blood, when the girl gets shot in the eye with the crossbow. Like that looks so cool. That looks so amazing.
Yeah, no, they did a great job on the effects, especially finding out that it wasn't made for all that much money, really.
No, mine isn't, and we already kind of said it. Mine is. My Brilliant Bulb is just how fucking Christmassy the movie is. Like, it's truly just impressive that they were able to cram that much into this. While inversely, there's like I said, To All a Good Night. There's movies like The Dorm That Dripped Blood, where it's Christmas break, and I think we see Christmas things 3 times in the movie.
You could have yourself a barricade.
True. Which I'd even barricade had more Christmas than The Dorm That Dripped Blood.
That's true.
Oh man, I can't wait till we get to The Dorm That Dripped Blood, or as I call it, Death Dorm.
Oh,
All right, so let's get into our final rankings. We rank these movies based off of one of 3 categories. Is it seasonally scary? Is it ho 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 hilarious? I think you've already figured out both our rankings. Or is it you'll be sorry? Jeff, you kick us off.
Gotta rank it 4 out of 5 gold medal blowjobs. No, I'm gonna go ho-ho hilarious, obviously. This movie is like, if you wanted the perfect hilarious Christmas movie that takes itself completely seriously, you found it.
This movie, I agree, ho 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 hilarious. This movie needs to be watched with friends. This is one of those where like, it's really funny, but I feel like if you watch it by yourself and like, you're not in the right mood, you might just sit there and be like, this is stupid, this is dumb. But if you've got friends over and you're just having fun, drinking a couple beers or whatever, put this on. It's so fucking stupid and so inane, and it's well worth a watch.
Yeah, I think this would be a great thing to throw on at like an adults only Christmas party or something like that.
Because you're like, like I said, like you know what it is, you know what they're doing. By the time that the two teens are making out at Turtle Dove Point, you should have in your mind the plot of the movie figured out, and then you're just sitting there wondering why these police officers are so goddamn stupid.
We can't solve this mystery. Call them the FBI.
And it's just one of those things that you just kind of shake your head at. Like, I love this movie. These guys made a movie. It's something you and I haven't done, and they deserve all the credit in the world for it. And truly, I love this movie. I think it's hilarious.
I definitely watch it again.
I want to watch. I've watched it twice this week, and I want to watch it again. Like, that's how much I love this movie.
Yeah, but just slow down a second here. You're telling me the first guy from that first murder, what was his name? Partridge? Yeah, with the apple?
What apple? You mean the pear?
The pear?
Yeah.
That's an apple.
No, it's a pear.
Oh, shit. It all makes sense now. We only had to let, 25 people be murdered?
Multiple animals get killed. Farming equipment get vandalized.
No, because when they figure that out, the mayor's already dead, right?
I believe so, yes.
That's 19 people at the strip club. The machines don't count, but the geese dead. The swan lady.
Well, she doesn't die.
She's not dead.
No, she's let out. She's one of the elves that's let out at the bar.
Oh yeah,
because Lisa's right. one of Jennifer's friends.
Yeah, you're right. And what was it? So then we got the three Frenchens. All three Frenchens.
All three Frenchens. The FBI agents. All five of them.
5 FBI agents. We got Mr. Partridge. The two teens making out at Turtle Dove Point.
4 birds.
Yeah.
4 birds.
4 birds.
So we got 5, 10, 15, plus 19.
So yeah, we're looking at least, we got, 29.
34?
Yeah, 34 people dead by the time they figure out this mystery.
And then still Frank the piper.
Yeah, how does Frank count as 11 people, by the way?
No idea. Unless they killed everyone at Frank's place of work.
Frank's just that fat.
And then Joe, his tiny dick, David,
yeah.
Courtney's friend. We're looking at close to 50 people, maybe.
It's just, this movie is so amazing.
I think I've said to you, I've said to multiple people, this movie and its sequel, like I love both these movies, and yes, a tad bit ironically, but I want the third movie to come out. I need to know how this ends because I've had so much fun watching these movies, and I've said before, like the sequel is somehow better and worse than this movie, and I don't know how that's possible.
Well, now I want to watch it.
This stuff is such a delight. Like, this is the kind of thing that, like, this is what this podcast was made for, was movies like this.
Now, love, don't get greedy. 4 watches is enough.
Only 4 watches. 4 watches will do with this movie. So let's get into our naughty list. It's where we rank the villains of the movie, and put them on our naughty list.
British Santa versus Brooklyn Santa.
See, I think they're easily more evil than Brooklyn Santa, more naughty than Brooklyn Santa.
They're definitely more naughty than Brooklyn Santa.
Honestly, I was gonna, especially because there's 2 more movies to come, and there's one more movie to come, and then potentially one more movie. Hopefully, fingers crossed. God, I would love it so much. But there's the body count's just gonna keep rising. I would put them, where we put Michael Myers on the last episode. I would put them right below the literal apocalypse.
Well, yeah. I don't. How many people did we ever figure out? How many people the 13 Slays guys killed?
No, I don't think we had an accurate number.
Okay.
Like, we just know that they'd been terrorizing the town and
for years. Right? Yeah. So I'm guessing they probably got a fairly high kill count.
But there's a lot of them.
Yeah, as I say, on an individual basis, though, yeah, I don't think they really stack up. Because, I mean, Nick is ex-military and obviously can handle himself pretty well. And Mrs. Claus is no slouch either.
Yeah, we had 40 some, almost 50 in this movie alone, and we're going to have more when we're gonna have more in the next movie and more after that. I think that's a Michael Myers level of kill count.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's got some Michael Myers qualities. Honestly, he seems to be like inhumanly strong, and the way he kind of slips away after getting shot at the end, it's very Michael Myers like.
Now I figure we kind of said we were gonna put Michael Myers on the list with kind of an asterisk. He's kind of on his own side of the thing because. We're a Christmas horror movie podcast.
Maybe at some point we'll have a Halloween villain tier list.
Yeah, but for he was kind of a placeholder. We'll kind of put British Santa and Mrs. Claus right there, and they're kind of on. They can occupy the same level since like Michael doesn't actually count.
Yeah, well, we'll give them their final rating once we've seen all of their movies.
So let's kind of start to wrap up the show. A little segment where we reach into our email inbox, clean it out in a segment we like to call
Garbage Day! Huh? No!
All right, and so this is our Garbage Day segment. If you would like to send us an email at horrorfortheholidays@gmail.com. Once again, horrorfortheholidays, all one word, @gmail.com.
4 emails. 4 emails is enough.
You only get 4 emails. Speaking of how many emails we get, we didn't get any this week. So, listeners, you need to step it up and send us an email.
You're garbage, listeners.
maybe Garbage Day is named after our listeners. No, not really. Please keep listening. We enjoy making this podcast. But yeah, please send us an email at that email address. So instead, I decided to spend a little bit of money and bought some Christmas themed snacks for Jeff and I to sample on the air because that was fun the last time we did
Dear God, in this economy.
So we've got the whole episode. Jeff and I have been sipping Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry. Jeff, what'd you think?
Very good. I like it.
I think it's real tasty. I don't know that it's the same as the regular Sprite Cranberry that's existed in years prior.
I don't think so.
But I think it's real tasty. I definitely go out. And one of those things where, like, normally I am a can is better than a bottle person on most Coke products. But honestly, like, I've also had this in a bottle, and I think the bottle is a really strong contender. The other two things we've got to sample today are Snickerdoodle Oreos, which sadly replaced my favorite Oreo, the gingerbread peppermint Oreos that they had for the last 2 years.
Those are really good.
So we didn't get those this year, but we'll sample these Snickerdoodle Oreos, and then we also got Mountain Dew Fruit Quake.
Oh boy.
Which I have not tried yet, and I'm excited to open for Jeff. So
get into the Fruit Quake.
Hold on here. We'll pour in some Fruit Quake, and we'll open these Oreos, and we'll let you know what's going on.
Yeah, pass me a Fruit Quake.
Oh man, look at that ADR work.
They should have focus grouped this name a little more.
Pour. Oh man.
ASMR.
All right, smells kind of like Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah.
That's the overriding smell.
Yeah, it definitely does smell like Hawaiian Punch. You're
right. So that's my first general thought.
All right, mate. Let's try this.
Let's try some of this Fruit Quake. Not bad.
It tastes. I'm trying to picture the candy that it tastes like. It definitely tastes like a candy.
It reminds me of something.
It reminds me of what are those Black Forest gummy bears? That's what it tastes like to me.
Okay. No, it's not. I was honestly expecting this to taste really, really bad.
That's not bad.
No, it's honestly not terrible. I wish fruitcakes tasted like this.
Yeah, I mean, if this is actual fruitcake flavor, I think that'd be a lot more popular.
But this is not terrible. I like this quite a bit.
The fruitquake's not bad, mate.
This also strangely things that this replaced the weird gingerbread Mountain Dew they had last year. That was quite strange.
Yeah, that was something, all right.
I bought multiple bottles of that. That stuff was weird. it was good and bad, like kind of like this movie.
Yeah,
It was,
this was a very Once Upon a Time at Christmas drink.
but no, this fruit quake Mountain Dew is actually pretty tasty. All right, and then the last thing we're gonna try these Snickerdoodle Oreos. Cinnamon flavored cream, crunchy sugar crystals.
Four birds.
We better eat these now, because whatever we don't eat is going to be consumed by that ravenous horde of locusts that I call my 3 lovely children.
Disgusting.
Smells really good. I don't know that I think it smells like a Snickerdoodle, per se. But it does smell tasty. It's kind of like it's a more like a golden Oreo cookie, and then it's got little crystals inside like you would see on a Snickerdoodle. Maybe one of those Christmas Snickerdoodle cookies where it's the sugar cookie with the red or green crystals on top.
This is very good.
All right, I'm gonna bite into mine. But
I think you're gonna like it.
I also Dinosaur Dracula tweeted about these. He said he really liked them too. So I've been excited to crack these open.
The perfect mix and mouthfeel of Oreo.
Delectable mouthfeel. No, honestly, not bad, not terrible.
I like 'em.
Yeah, I'd get these again. They're not going to replace those gingerbread peppermint Oreos in my heart.
Yeah. Honestly, my favorite were those pumpkin pie Oreos we tried this year.
Yeah, those were really good too. But no, these aren't bad. Go and buy a package and try them out, because Jeff and I both think they're really tasty. And get yourself a Fruit Quake Mountain Dew too.
Yeah, get some Fruit Quake.
But yeah, real good. This is both. I think all three things so far that we found that are holiday themed have been knocked out of the park.
Pretty good job on the Christmas packaging too.
Maybe if next episode, if we don't have any emails, I don't know, maybe we'll try some Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cereal or something.
Oh, I know what we need to do. We need to get some of those elf cookies I saw at Walmart the other day.
Do it.
We'll take and bake cookies.
Yeah, we'll try something. Anything to fill up airtime on this podcast.
Yeah, anything to get this stupid podcast to an hour.
Or as close to it as we can. Have we ever? Yeah, I think we hit an hour maybe on the 13 Slaves.
I think 13 Slaves was like an hour and a half almost.
So with that's the end of our episode. If you want to get in touch with us, once again, our email address is horrorfortheholidays@gmail.com. Get us on the socials. Our Twitter account is @horror4holidays. Get there before Elon blows Twitter up like one of his cars.
Tweet at us at Real Alex Jones.
Also, Instagram. We're not really very active on there. We keep getting tagged in stuff that doesn't relate to us, which is weird.
I'm all over the gram, boy.
And then our TikTok recently exploded. So anyone who found the podcast through our TikTok, where our YouTube show is linked on there, welcome. I posted 4 images of Christmas horror movies that come out this year that I'm excited for.
You posted 4 birds.
And that got over 10,000 views, which I realize in TikTok terms isn't a lot. But compared to most of the other videos we've made, which I think our best was like maybe 300, 10,000 is pretty good.
10,000, mate.
And then also with the holiday season approaching, go see those movies. The Killing Tree just came out. It's on Tubi streaming places. The Leech and Christmas Bloody Christmas both look fantastic. They both look really good. They're scheduled to come out early December. The Leech, I think, is going to be A24, so you can get it on DVD, and it might be streaming on A24's website. Christmas Bloody Christmas, I believe, is going to theaters. Jeff and I might have to go see that in theater. Maybe a Christmas Bloody Christmas Violent Night double showing.
Are we gonna go to Krampus?
Yeah, they're going to be showing Krampus at our local theater one weekend, so we might have to go do that too. Oh, also, Peace Tree announced their final thing, local brewery here. and it's going to be the Krampus cocktail. So we might have to go do that one night too.
Yeah, we should.
But also
Don't forget Violent Night. It's coming soon.
Yep,
too.
Violent Night coming out, and then The Mean One, which is a Grinch horror movie parody.
I'm excited for that.
That comes out, I think, in mid-December of this year. But also get into the holiday spirit and support Holiday Spirits Volume 2 on Kickstarter. It's a Christmas horror comic collection. We backed Volume 1 last year, and shout out to Jerome. He's one of the creators, and he's a really nice guy who interacts with us a lot on Twitter. So shout out to him and support his project and get that comic book made, because it's really a lot of fun.
It's worth it. Trust me.
Yeah, other than that, anything else, Jeff?
Don't forget to see Christmas Horror's biggest release this December, Avatar 2: The Way of Water.
But all right. Oh, also find what audio backups of us.
Oh yeah, you can
On
definitely
YouTube.
find our audio backups on YouTube at Horror for the Holidays.
Give us a like, subscribe, thumbs up, bell thing there. Give us 5 stars on your podcatcher of choice. Give us a review. Let everyone know how great we are, and tell your friends that, hey, I found this great Christmas horror movie podcast, and you should listen.
Follow us on Mastodon and watch our rants on Rumble.
We don't have either of those yet, but if Elon shuts down Twitter like a SpaceX flight crashing out of the sky, then we might have to move somewhere else.
Never.
Until then,
I'm staying on Twitter till those servers go dark.
like those World of Warcraft people who are just waiting around as their servers shut down. But until then,
let's just add this real quick at the end. The second week he was in charge, he had an all hands meeting and said bankruptcy was not out of the question.
oh man, to be a billionaire. If any billionaire wants to finance this podcast, I mean, we'll lie about our numbers.
Oh yeah.
And we'll do whatever a billionaire says. If someone wants to kick us, some life-changing money,
Oh, yeah.
we'll change and become a pro Elon Musk podcast where where we are those weird nerds on the internet that you hear so much about.
Hey, those fracking guys who fund Ben Shapiro and PragerU, can we have some of that money, please?
Yeah, we'll completely change the premise of our podcast, but keep the name the
Yeah,
same.
this is going to be Horror for the Holidays, the all fracking podcast.
But in all seriousness, thanks for listening. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. It's not going to be a thanks or for the holidays giving, because we actually have a more pertinent podcast for our episode in 2 weeks. We're going to be covering Bruce Campbell's Black Friday.
Black Friday.
So we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.